we look forward to it. Great fight card, man. Cesar Balmaceda, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, local guy. You are going to want to see him in action. Let me tell you, this kid, if you haven't seen Cesar fight, now sometimes they don't last too long because he kicked the crap out of his last opponent. Sydney Outlaw is who he picked. This one's going to be a phenomenal test for him. And I'll let Rob Haydak, the president of CFFC, tell you a little bit more about that fight. Also, if you have not seen Pat Sabatini, you want to see him locally because the next time you get to see him, it could be on pay-per-view somewhere. He is a entertaining, great fighter. It's a great card. It's in Atlantic City, May 17th. Last time at the Hard Rock, the atmosphere was awesome. You got to get your tickets. They're on sale at CFFC.tv and Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for May 17th. And if you can't get there, you can listen to me and CM Punk call it on UFC Fight Pass. But be there in person. Let me tell you, you will not regret it. And we'll have tickets to give away next week on the show. And right now, joining me on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline to talk more about CFFC 74. May 17th, it's Rob Haydak, the president of CFFC, here on the Sports Bash. Rob, welcome back, man. What's going on?
How you doing, Mike? Great to be back with you.
Yeah, man. I am jacked up to see this card. It's a stack card again, and to see Cesar fight in his backyard. We had him on a couple of weeks ago against Sydney Outlaw, who's this might be his toughest opponent yet.
Without question, Sydney Outlaw is a very dangerous opponent. He's got a 13-2 record. He's fought on Dana White UFC Contender Series last year. So without a doubt, this will be Caesar's biggest test to date.
Yeah, and he's one of these guys that, he keeps coming to you asking to give him the most difficult guy you can find him, right? I mean, this is something that he keeps asking, give me somebody better, and he keeps kicking the door down.
No, you hit the nail on the head there. Caesar, since day one, he's been just a promoter's dream. Every time you reach out to him, doesn't matter who you present, who you put in front of him. He's like, I'm looking for a good test and, give me the best. And we've done that once again. We thought his last fight would be, his biggest test to date. And you were there. You were ringside and that ended very quickly. So this will be interesting. This is going to be an incredible fight on May 17th.
Yeah, and that was back in December. So he's had a little time off here. May 17th, Friday night at Hard Rock. It'll be Cesar Balmaceda, Atlantic City, up against Sydney Outlaw. So that one should be a good one. And obviously, he's a guy who I'm sure, is wondering what's next for him. What's next for me if I keep having these impressive wins? What do you think could be next for Cesar?
A win on May 17th, there's only one place that he's going next, and it won't be with CFFC. Without a doubt, it will be with the UFC. Just an interesting fact, just this past week, another one of the CFFC fighters was signed to the UFC Contender Series, and it turns out to be a previous opponent of Caesar who he has beaten. So without a doubt, they've got their eyes on Caesar, and a win on May 17th gets him to the next level.
Yeah, and we know the last time you and I talked, it was because we were getting ready for Sean Brady's fight, and that fight at the Hard Rock, he was excellent, and that caught the eyes, and Sean Brady, we're happy to say, has moved on to the UFC.
Yeah, we're very happy for him. Sean Brady holds a 10-0 undefeated record. He was also undefeated in the amateur side of things, and he's another person that's going to be, known nationally, that came up through the ranks of CFFC, and it's what we're all about. And May 17th will be no different. You will see the best prospects in the world of MMA get a chance to make it to the UFC.
Now, we know that Cesar at the top of the card, and he's a hometown guy, so he's probably, it's going to be a great crowd. So if you want to see it live, you got to get your tickets here. But there's a lot of other, as we mention all the time, there's guys on these cards that we're always trying to pick out. Who's the next guy? Who's that next guy up the list? Of the fights, that you look at here, when you put these fights together with Arias, the matchmaker here for these fights, Which ones have got you guys excited to say, man, I'm so excited that the fans are going to get to see these guys together?
Great question. I mean, without a doubt, the main event, Caesar versus Sydney Outlaw, is going to have the crowd on its feet the entire night. Both very, very exciting fighters. Both of them have a lot on the line. That's one world title that we have up. The second one is another fight that I'm looking forward to. It's top prospect Pat Sabatini defending his title against Fabio Oliveira out of Brazil. The gentleman coming in from Brazil is a world-class practitioner, grappler, looking to come in and spoil the South Jersey, Philadelphia hometown hero and Pat Sabatini. So that's a very intriguing fight for me, as well as really up and down the card. There's a lot of great matchups that have come together, and they're going to be exciting for the fans.
Yeah, now Pat Sabatini last fought in Atlantic City there and looked very good in doing so against Blackshear. He had a very tough opponent and won by unanimous decision. And, he's probably putting himself on that area where, hey, look at me, guys, come watch me, because he could be another guy who might be on to bigger things.
Absolutely. Pat is knocking on the doorstep. He's a guy with a win. You never know. Just this past week, another 6 fighters that have come through CFFC were just signed to the UFC Contender Series. So there's no doubt that the level of fighters that we have on this card, the phone's going to be ringing off the hook the week after May 17th for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, and this one is May 17th, Friday night, Hard Rock, Atlantic City. Get your tickets, of course. The last time we were at Hard Rock, that crowd was electric, and you anticipate, based on that, it's the best live MMA experience on this side. Rob, you guys have done a great job, but you're going to be doing it here. You're out in San Diego, coming back. I mean, you guys are going to be busy for these next couple of months here, and this one here kicks it all off.
Yeah, we've got a full schedule. We've got 3 events in a 5-week period starting May 17th, obviously right here at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City, and then we're off to California for May 25th, and then we're back just north of Philadelphia on June 14th. So we've got 3 packed cards, but we're excited to be back at the Hard Rock. And as you mentioned, our first show back in February there at the property was absolutely electric. I can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, now I know that unfortunately Alexander's not going to be on the card, because if the fans would have got a chance to see him, holy mackerel, this guy, you talk about what could happen at the next level. Ketchtoff, when we saw him fight back in December in Atlantic City, you were looking at a guy that it looks like he has the red arrow pointed on his back on the way up. He would have been, but it shows you the level of guys that you're getting out there for the listeners and the fans of MMA, that they get a chance to come and see. You never know when you're going to walk into one of these arenas and see a guy like him on your card, and that's what you never know, which one of these guys has that red arrow pointing up on them.
It's a great point, Mike, and a lot of people don't understand with CFFC, we're not only looking for local talent, but we'll go anywhere in the world and look for the best prospects there are. And Ketchtoff is exactly one of those. Unfortunately, he faced some visa issues getting back into the country for this fight in May, but he will be returning back to Atlantic City for our August card back at the Hard Rock. But I've got another gentleman on this card, on the main card. His name, and I dare try to announce
You got to try to do it. Come on, I'm going to have to do it the whole night.
Well, he's out of Russia. His name is Zulk, and I've got to tell you, he's another undefeated prospect. He's 3-0, but when you see this gentleman fight, you're going to be impressed, and you're going to see another Ketchtoff on your hands.
Yeah, when I was looking over, the initial fight card, and I saw that name, I was about to call somebody and say, "Is this a joke? Are you kidding me?" Unbelievable. But no, that's what.
Good luck with you and CM Punk announcing that name.
I know. I said to Punk, I will leave this. I texted him with that name, copy and paste it. I will leave this one to you all night long. You've got that one there. But no, that's what I think the listeners and the fans should come to expect now. When you walk into a Hard Rock arena for a CFFC, you are getting multiple guys on this card whose anticipation is that someone's watching me and that I can go to that next level. And I think that is what made CFFC just a special place and a special atmosphere every time you guys open up an arena.
No question about it. We put on high-level fights, quality events. The energy inside the building is electric, and every athlete, as you pointed out, is on the cusp of getting to the UFC, and that really compels them to put everything on the line that night. And to be part of that atmosphere is very special. And for those listening that have not been to a CFFC event, you got to come.
Yeah, and we had recently, Aljamain Sterling, there was a CFC alum fight there that you guys were very proud of right around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right up on Boardwalk Hall. And speaking Aljamain Sterling, another fighter on this card is his younger brother, Troy Sterling, who will be fighting on our undercard that night. Troy is an up-and-coming prospect, has all the tools of big brother Aljamain Sterling, who's currently ranked in the top 5 in the UFC. So, those are some of the names that are on the card that aren't even getting the attention they deserve, but it's just another example of what that night entails from top to bottom. The card is absolutely stacked.
All right, we look forward to it. It's Friday, May 17th. Hard Rock tickets are on sale now at CFFC.tv, and we will have tickets for you next week on the show. It is bar none, the best live MMA experience on the East Coast, period, that you will find. You're not going to go to another place. You're going to walk in and literally be like, this is a UFC event. The presentation is that good, and the arena, the crowds are electric for these things, man. I'm telling you, I'm that close, and I can feel the crowds up against us. Maybe because they're trying to get to CM Punk, but these people are so into these fights, and it's great to have a guy like Cesar headline this one here, who will be a part of this. Cesar Balmaceda, Atlantic City. It is May 17th. Rob Haydak is the president of CFFC 74, and check them out. Get your tickets for May 17th. And, if there's something that you want to add for the listeners out there about the experience of these nights that I haven't been able to, because I'm telling you, the first one I walked into was back in December, and then the second time around, I was just like, man, this just keeps getting bigger, because let me tell you, that arena, the Edis place over at the Hard Rock, that's a pretty big spot for people to come into. These fighters are getting an unbelievable experience before they're all trying to get to that next level, and this is about as close as you can get.
No, without a doubt, Mike. Every show out, we're trying to raise the bar with our new partnership with the Hard Rock right there in Atlantic City. They have an incredible staff. They're great to work with. They're always coming back to us and saying, okay, what are we going to do next? What else do you want to try? And to have a partner like that really means a lot to us, and we're very excited about it. One of the things I'll tell you this time that we're doing that we haven't done in the past, just this past week, we signed a new partnership deal with Ciroc and Bullet. They're coming on as sponsors, and one of the things that they request at Cadeside was creating a Ciroc and Bullet lounge. So we're going to do that for the first time ever, with folks in the VIP area who purchase a ticket will have the opportunity, open bar, right inside the Ciroc and Bullet lounge.
Nice. And
you'll be up close to the action, sitting back, drinking a cocktail, watching some incredible fights.
I'll need that when I have to pronounce that guy's name all night.
We'll take care of you, Mike.
Balmaceda won the CFFC interim lightweight championship last December when he beat Damian Norris, and now he'll have a chance to defend that for the first time May 17th. We'll have the call, CM Punk and I, on UFC Fight Pass, but get your tickets and be there live at the Hard Rock. All right, Rob, I will catch up with you soon, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks, pal.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
All right, Rob Haydak is the president of CFFC. CFFC 74 is coming to Hard Rock Atlantic City. We'll have tickets next week.